What's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And today is the first review, the first installment of this transition of doing the Masters of the Universe side of my collection for figure reviews. I'm going to be starting off with some of my favorite figures in my collection. And what better way to kick it off than with my crown jewel, my absolute favorite figure in my Masters of the Universe collection. Today's review, and I'm excited to bring to you, is the Masters of the Universe Classics Dark Despot Skeletor. Now, this isn't the exact look-alike, figurine of Frank Langella, but this is the closest thing we have to the 1987 film Frank Langella Skeletor, which is my favorite Skeletor of all time. I love it. I love it even more than the classic, cartoon version. Skeletor, played by Frank Langella in the movie, he just steals the role. He did a fantastic job. There's a great story behind it all, too, because his kid was a big Masters of the Universe fan. So when he was pitched the film, Frank Langella even said himself, the script and everything, it's kind of bad, but I'm going to do it. And he did it for his kid mainly. And that right there, I think really gave him, Frank Langella is an awesome actor in the end, but I think that really gave him the extra push to really put all he had into the performance. And Frank Langella has played a bunch of characters, including Dracula, but Skeletor is like the perfect example. It's the what do you call it? It's the measuring bar. He puts out the measuring stick. However that phrase is worded, I don't know. I can't remember it, but he does such a great job. And that is the way a villain needs to be played in a movie. That is the way a villain needs to be wrote. And again, he just put his all into the role, and I think it's one of his best performances ever. And that is my favorite piece of MOTU media, is the 87 film. I love it. I don't care how much I get for it, but I love the 87 film. It's a classic to me, and I just really enjoy it. It is my favorite piece of Masters of the Universe media that I own. I just love the movie. There's Frank Langella himself. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get straight on into this figure review. I am just psyched. I am happy to do this transition into MOTU for a little bit. Again, it's not permanent. And I hope most of you stick around, and I hope you guys enjoy these figure reviews. Anyway, let's just get straight on into it. And as you can see, here he is with his accessories. I'm going to go over his accessories last, though. So let's focus on the figure. And for some of you that may have this figure or know about it, you might see something that's a little different on mine than others. And that's because I did kind of customize this guy just a little bit. There was a little piece, and I'll get to that when I get to paint apps. But there is a little piece on this guy that I just couldn't believe that they didn't add the paint. Whether it was missed or whether they're all produced that way. All the reviews I've seen of this guy, he was produced that way. But let's just get straight on into this figure review with paint job, like I always do. Paint on this guy, very nice blacks, almost like a reddish brown mixed into, his hood and his cloak and his cape. Very nice, but lots of blacks all the way around. In his suit itself, you have this very awesome, copperish, bronzish color into the armor and the straps that are coming down. Looks really, really good. You got a little bit of dark red right in there. You got some silvers on the forearms and the hands. And again, what's different about mine is in the movie, on the costume, he has these little metal, fingertip claw things. And these were just left black on the figure. And my good buddy, again, I have to give him a shout out because he's the one that got me this guy. Nick Adams from the Monster Report. I can't thank him enough for finding this guy for a decent price and giving me my crown jewel. I should have mentioned that first. I'm very sorry. Nick, bad on me. But even Nick agreed that it looks a lot better just by adding that touch of silver. And all I did was I took a metallic silver Sharpie. And as you can see, it matches perfectly to the rest of his silver that's in the sculpt itself. Then, of course, you have the face. Very nice white. The camera's not wanting to focus, really. Come on, camera, focus. We'll have to deal with it. It doesn't look too bad. And that just about does it for paint, you guys. Pretty wild on this guy. Looks really good. Again, you got some more reds in here on his shoulders, along with that bronzish copper color. Detail. Again, this is not exact to Frank Langella's likeness or anything like that. They could not get the licensing that far, but they at least got it for the look of the figure itself, and you can definitely tell that this is Skeletor from the '87 film. Again, I love the way he was portrayed. He's just a Skeletor that you don't want to cross. You don't want to get on his bad side. Otherwise, you're going to die. He was just so empowering. Anyway, detail. Frank Langella here. I'm still going to call him Frank Langella. Frank Langella here, very jacked, very ripped for his appearance here as a figure. You got these massive biceps. You got some abs worked in there. His legs, really jacked. He did not miss leg day. The face, even though it's not to the likeness of Frank Langella, I still think it looks pretty dang spot on. It's not as, not that it's a bad figure, but it's not as noticeable as the Rebel Leader He-Man, which is the classics He-Man based off of the '87 film. Like that one, just because it's more of a human face, and you can tell that they kind of tried to make it look like Dolph Lundgren, but of course they couldn't get the rights to the 100% likeness. But it's more noticeable that even though it's supposed to be He-Man from that movie, that's not Dolph Lundgren. But here, this is a very passable, not Frank Langella, but it still kind of is, if that makes sense. Just because, there's it's not exactly a human face. So I like that a lot. But you do get all the detailing in the face. That looks really good. His teeth in there. The bone structure, the eyes, the nose. It just all looks fantastic. Very nice wrinkles in his cape. Wrinkles and waves. Wrinkles and waves. Wrinkles and waves for days. That rhymes. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really happy to get into MOTU, as you can tell. I promise to bring, always similar energy to my Kaiju reviews and everything. But you got all this detailing here in his chest plate. All the little, skulls and details in these just, robe straps that are coming down. They just look great. Again, my camera's not wanting to 100% focus on them, but, just for how small they are, that is just awesome. Awesome detail. Down here, you got more of that etched in there to the sculpt. You got the little skulls on his boots. Just really good detail all the way around. Again, you got all the mechanical, looking parts for his forearms and his hands. And then, of course, you have the tips, which I painted. Just looks really, really good. It's a really, really great figure. Articulation. His head does move, but of course it is a little bit hindered by the, hood piece because it hangs down back here. So you do have limited movement there. His arms are limited by the shoulder armor, but they can kick out a little bit and go back in. Of course, he has, just single jointed elbows. This figure is kind of old. I don't think they were really messing with double joints in figures at the time. His wrists do bend at like so and rotate. So very good there. As you can see, he has that ab crunch right there. You can see that joint clearly, but you can only get so much movement out of it due to his cape and just the way the figure is kind of beefy on the top. He does have bicep swivels as well. Almost missed that. But he does have a little bit of bicep swivel. Again, they're kind of hindered because of the bulkiness of the arms. He does have a waist swivel, which, you know, turns very well. And then, of course, his legs are going to be hindered by, you know, this robe and cape piece down here. But they can kick forward ever so much. Again, they're just single jointed, so you're only going to get so much of a bend out of them also. Only about that much of a bend. No boot cut on this guy. He does not have a boot cut, but his ankles do bend forward and up straight. And then they have a little bit of a tilt pivot, but not a lot. And that does it for articulation. You know, not the greatest, but I mean, for what this guy is displayed, and you guys have seen my Snake Mountain display, he sits upon the tippy top because that's where he deserves to be. He works out perfectly. Now, his accessories. Let's go over the sword here. The sword you don't see much in the movie until the very, very, very end. Even after he's not Skelegod anymore, does he ever use the sword. Very cool. You know, we don't get to see much of the sword in the movie, but from what you do get to see, this is a nice replica of it for the figure. You have a very nice skull with like some bat, you know, dragon wings for the design. You know, very nice detail in the handle, the way it kind of like twists and everything. Again, for how small the accessory is, just very, very nice detail. You got the blood groove in the sword. Looks really nice. Very nice, you know, silver, you know, with a matte, you know, grayish, and then almost a more blackish color for the handle with a little bit of brown in there. It's very hintable, but it's there. Next on, the trademark Havoc Staff. I love the Havoc Staff from the movie. The only one who has seen pictures and, of course, seen it in person are local, you know, family and friends. And then Nick has seen it, but I made Nick a replica sword from the 87 movie because I'm a welder. And I decided to make myself a replica Havoc Staff. And it's not exactly like in the movie, but I tried to do that same effect with like the sun or this burst that's behind the ram skull. So I definitely got that. And of course the paint scheme's a little different. But I made my own Havoc Staff. I'll eventually have to share pictures of that and show you guys that down the road. Anyway, the Havoc Staff here looks very nice. Very nice, you know, bronze, copperish color here for the ram skull. And again, that sunburst. All the detailing looks really, really cool, just like the film. For the staff itself, a very nice black. And again, you still have those rings of that bronze, copperish color. And then you have the end tip there with the ball joint. Not ball joint. Boy, you can tell I'm a figure reviewer when I refer to that as a ball joint. But just very nice paint, very nice detail all the way around for the Havoc Staff. It just looks fantastic. I mean, look at all that detail. And again, this is a little bit bigger of a piece, but it's still small for what it is. And the amount of detail is amazing. Just looks great. And lastly, not least, we have the cosmic key from the movie. This is the MacGuffin, is that what you would call it, of the film? Has a little strap that he can hold on to it, or you can just rest it in his arms. I keep it off to the side. Sometimes I'll display him holding it. But again, just very nice paint. You know, silvers, blacks. You got reds. You got greens up in there. Yellows. Again, you have that bronzish, copperish color again. throughout the piece also. And again, for a very small and intricate as this is, the detail and paint is just amazing. And that is his Cosmic Key accessory. Not really going to scale him with anything, but he's within the 6-inch scale. If you really want to know, he's about 6 inches tall, so he's about the size of your, average, like, again, if you watch my Godzilla reviews and stuff, he's about the size of a Bandai, more or less, in height. Yeah, but I'm just not really going to deal with scale all that much. Maybe like some comparisons for certain figures I will do, yes. But as far as scaling goes, probably not going to do it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap that up. This is a pretty decent figure review, I will say myself. Might have rambled a little bit in the beginning, but that's okay. Like always, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Go check out Godzilla Fan Freaks on Facebook, and always check out Godzilla Fan Freaks on Instagram as well. Check out pictures that I post there. You'll see stuff there that you won't see on the channel. A lot more MOTU reviews to come, you guys, but I do want to mention and throw it out there. I'm not really going to review the Origins Castle Grayskull or the Snake Mountain from Classics that I have. Really not planning on reviewing those, but you guys show me the love, I'll definitely do it. So here's the goal. On any of my MOTU figure reviews that I put out, and I'm going to say this in every video, if I get 50 likes on any MOTU review, I will review Castle Grayskull. And then for Snake Mountain, I want to see 150 likes on any MOTU figure review that I do. And if I get 150 likes, of course, I will review Grayskull and I will review Snake Mountain. So I'll review them both for 150. I will review just Castle Grayskull if I get 50 likes on any figure review that I do that's MOTU. If I get 150, I'll do both Grayskull and Snake Mountain. That's the deal, you guys. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Again, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.